Welcome back, everybody. This is Big Booth Bowling. I don't really like saying my YouTube name out loud just because I think it's kind of cringeworthy. But I appreciate you coming back for this video. If you haven't seen the first part of this video, I will include the link to that video in the description, and it's on my channel. If you have seen the first part of the video, you know why we're here. I've recently made the switch from Storm over to Hammer. No contracts, nothing formal, just this is simply me being comfortable with one particular brand of bowling balls, instead of having a little bit of a mixture of everything and balls that do different things. So I don't want to rant too long because I don't want this intro to be too long. So the second half of my bag are my three weaker end pieces, starting with my Black Widow Ghost. This is the only asymmetric ball in this video. That's going to cause the overall shape of the ball to be a little bit sharper, a little bit more angular, come off the break point a little bit harder. So the Black Widow Ghost is a part of the Black Widow line that's been around for decades. It's in the upper mid-performance category. It has the gas mask core, which is found in all of the other Black Widow pieces. The 2.0 hybrid, which just came out, the Black Widow 2.0 solid, and then obviously in the Ghost Pearl. It has the Aggression Pearl cover stock at a finish of 500, 1000, 1500 Sierra Crown Factory compound. So the ball is going to be very smooth down lane, even though it does have that asymmetric cover stock. Asymmetric core and pearl cover stock. When I throw this ball, I really need control of the pocket, and that provides that. According to Hammer's website, medium to heavy oil patterns for oil conditions for this ball. I use it closer to the medium, not necessarily on the heavy, just because I have other things in my bag that cover that area of the lane. So that kind of wraps up the Black Widow. The next step down from that is the Web Pearl, the 2021 edition of the Web Pearl, not any of the earlier editions. This has the same aggressive pearl cover stock as the Black Widow, but with a much weaker core and asymmetric core. So it's going to be an even smoother shape, even more control into the pocket, and overall it's going to be a little bit weaker than the Ghost. But this ball, it's still strong enough to get to where it needs to be without losing control of the pocket. So this has the spheroid core, which currently isn't in any of the Hammer pieces, but it has a pretty weak core but a pretty strong cover stock because it has matching cover stocks. So when this ball's cover is clean enough to read the oil and get into the pocket, but the core shape is a little bit too sharp and I'm wrapping 10s or I'm leaving flat 7s, this is the ball that I go to. From there, now there is a gap between this ball and my last ball, so I want to specify that there should be a ball in between these two balls, and I'm not talking about this one. I do want to put a ball in here, but I don't have it yet. The final ball in this intro is the Ocean Vibe, or as I like to call it, it's my burn ball, because I only throw this ball when the lanes are burnt or there's light amount of oil or light volume. This ball shines in those conditions. Now this ball has the Vibe core, hence the name Ocean Vibe, which has been around for decades. But it has the CT Reactive Plus Pearl cover stock. So it's going to get further down lane before it starts moving. And because it has a very weak core, that move on very oily conditions, it's not really going to move at all. It might even, you would assume, doesn't hook at all, go straight. But that's just because of the overall numbers of this ball and the core and the cover stock. It has an RG of 2.51 and a differential of 0.42, so it's definitely on the weaker end. The Webb, on the other hand, has an RG of 2.481 and a differential of 0.048. And the most aggressive piece in this video, the Ghost, has an RG of 2.50, a differential of 0.058, and an ASIM of 0.016. So this ball is going to read the earliest, overall hook the most. Step down from that, the Webb is going to hook a little bit less, read a little bit later, just because it has a lower RG. And then the Ocean Vibe is going to hook even less, even later, and it really needs that, it really needs that friction on the lane to really pick up and get into the pocket. So we're going to take these 3 balls out to the lane and see how they do. Thanks. All right, welcome back to the second part of this video. I apologize if anybody has a hard time hearing me. It is rather loud in this building tonight. So if you watched the first video, or the first part of this video in its entirety, you know that I am displaying the last half of my arsenal. In this video, I will be displaying the Black Widow Ghost, the Pearl Webb from 2021. Oh, that was awful. And I will be displaying the Ocean Vibe. So these are my the 3 weaker balls in my bag. They're for a little bit drier conditions, a little later in the block, 3, 4, or on very short or light volume tournament patterns. So I'm really able to round out my bag. So the first ball I'll be displaying, I just completed a warm-up. I'll be using the Black Widow Ghost from Hammer, which has the, it has the Aggression Pearl cover stock wrapped around the gas mask core. The Black Widow line's been around for just about a decade. They're really reliable pieces. You kind of know what the ball is going to do. It wants to pick up pretty early. But with the Aggression Pearl cover stock on this ball, it's really clean through the fronts. Doesn't overread on any type of transition. It does pretty much what you tell it to do, what you want it to do. So right now I'm standing about 30 with my feet. 25 with my feet. Yeah, so right now, and I noticed it in warm-ups, there's a lot of oil out there. It's not the perfect conditions for these pieces, but I'm gonna make it work. I got under the ball way too much and basically gave it 0 hand rotation. 25 with my feet, trying to get it out to about the first arrow, maybe bore 4 or 5. Okay, so I need to lower the ball speed. I gotta bring it down by a lot. A lot. Right now I'm about 15 and a half, and that's not what my usual ball speed is. Just gotta lower the ball speed a touch. It's the very first ball when I was making the judgment call to move away from Storm products and start throwing other brands. This was the first ball that I kind of tried, and because of how much I love this piece, it really made me fall. Yeah, see, that overcompensation. It was kind of the first ball that made me really fall in love with hammer. That last shot, I threw way too slow. I lowered my ball speed too much, and the ball picked up too soon. So I'm gonna try and throw one more good shot with this ball. Like I said, because there's a lot of oil out there right now. I mean, these lanes weren't oiled that long ago. It's hard to kind of say. It's hard to kind of say how much oil's out there, but right, one more good shot. Oh, that was beautiful. Okay. So I sped up my ball speed from the last shot. I'm now about 14.8 instead of 14 flat. And compared to the other shot where it was about 15 and a half, I just trying to find that Goldilocks zone, especially with a lot of oil out there. These balls aren't going to look great, especially the weaker the ball gets. So the Black Widow Ghost is asymmetrical, so it's a little bit sharper, a little bit cleaner through the fronts, like I said, because of the core, but it's very sharp, at least tends to be. There you go. Okay. It's just finding that comfort zone, especially with the amount of oil that's out there right now. So I'm going to be switching over to the next piece, which is a step down from the Black Widow Ghost. That's the 2021 release of the Web Pearl. Now this ball is symmetrical. It's symmetrical and it's pearl. So it's going to cause it to go very far down the lane before it really starts to pick up. And as you just saw in that last shot, it's not going to shoot off the spot. It's going to be very smooth, very controllable because of its symmetric core. And it has a weaker core also. It's because of its lower core numbers and slightly weaker cover stock than sending to the stuff in my main part of my bag. It works out really well. So I'm standing in the same spot with my feet about 25, trying to get it out to the first arrow. Yeah, see, and it picked up a little bit earlier, just a little earlier. Now, it does have the same cover stock as the Black Widow. It has the Aggression Pearl cover stock, which is kind of the reason why I got this ball to be the second hammer piece I kind of went with to kind of go along with my Black Widow. But I wanted it to be a little bit smoother than the Black Widow, a little bit less sharp off the break point, and overall a little bit of a weaker piece, especially to fit in the gap between the ball that's going to be up next, the Ocean Vibe, and the Black Widow. I'm going to have to move my feet. Alright, so it's picking up a little bit earlier. But it's not overhooking, it's just reading a little too early. So that just tells me that I need to move. It's not a ball problem, it's a me problem. So I'm going to take a 3-board adjustment to the left with my feet, try to get it out a little bit more. That's better. So I moved it in, well, I'm sorry, I moved out left just a couple of boards. And that couple of boards makes all the difference. Even though it's only about an 3-inch adjustment. I'm going to throw 1 or 2 more shots depending on how they go. The thing I really like about this ball is even though it does have a pearl cover stock on it, it does still read the pattern. Oh, that was beautiful. So, my biggest qualm, especially recently with some of my storm pieces, especially my Night Road, the High Road Pearl, the Infinite Physics, the Pearl cover stocks, they weren't reading the pattern the way I needed them to. They were just kind of gliding over the pattern. So I needed something that was digging in a little bit more and gave me a little bit more predictability. I got that way left. Yeah, I got that right into the puddle of oil out there and did nowhere. The Black Widow, the Web, I have to specify that it's the 2001 release of the Web Pearl, because there have been several versions of this ball. Slight adjustments to the core, obviously, and definitely different colors. This one is green, black, silver. I've seen a couple online that are more purple, white. Alright, so let's try to get one more good shot off here. That was way inside. Oh, good Lord. That was way inside, but it works. I just need to be more consistent. The thing that was really aggravating me with Storm was I essentially lost the pocket. Didn't matter what ball I was throwing, where I was throwing, the house I was throwing at, my hand position, I could not control the ball's movement into the pocket. And when that happened, I knew it was time for a big change. So, the last ball I will be displaying in this video is the Ocean Vibe. The Ocean Vibe is basically the ball I use on very little to no oil on the lane. It's the weakest in overall numbers in RG and differential and core strength and cover strength. It's the weakest ball in my bag, and that's not on purpose. I'm sorry, that's not on accident. That is deliberately done. This was created to be a ball on weaker oil patterns. Not weaker oil pattern, I'm sorry, lighter oil patterns, lesser volume, or later in the day. Oh. I apologize for that. I had some video recording malfunctions because of the weakness of this ball. I use it way later in the day. The last time I used this ball, it was third game of league. One lane was fried. One lane not so much. The urethane was going down one lane, and there was a cliff of oil on the right side of the lane and nothing on the left side. And then as the transition was going on, my line became basically vacant of oil. So I was throwing this ball basically where I am right now, right up second arrow, about 15-ish miles an hour. And I was getting a lot of success with it. But right now the ball's not going to look that great because I'm bowling on what I suspect to be a recently oiled house shot. At least I hope so. And I have to play a little bit more right, have a bigger window. Seeing the ball, it's going to be very smooth, very controllable, very predictable, with little to no violent, sharp hook into the pocket, because that's not what this ball is designed to do. It's not designed to shoot off the break point and blow the pocket out and split the 8-9. It's more meant to be a piece that's you can manipulate easily without losing control into the pocket. There's a lot of those sharp breaks into the pocket cause bowlers to lose the pocket. See, even though that ball didn't go through the pins the way I wanted it to, it still got to the pocket. And that's kind of proving my point with this piece, is it still gets to the pocket. I'm going to throw one or two more shots, and then I'm going to throw one more shot with the Widow, one more shot with the Webb, and oh, that was way right. And one more shot with the Ocean Vibe. You can really see the difference in shapes and how much of a difference the core sizes and the core strengths and cover strengths really dictate when you can use these balls and when you can't. So I was way right on that last shot, so I'm going to throw one more. 25 with my feet. Still right. Now I'm getting it out way too far right. This is usually where I play with my other pieces, but the ball is just not as strong. It's not able to really pick up and get to where it needs to go. So I'm not going to stand here for the next 10 minutes and say, all right, one more shot, one more shot, one more shot. So I'm going to throw that exact same shot where I missed with the Ocean Vibe with the Black Widow Ghost. And I suspect, because the core is a hell of a lot stronger than the Ocean Vibe, and the cover is a hell of a lot stronger than the Ocean Vibes, it's going to pick up a hell of a lot earlier, and hopefully get to the pocket still. See, so it started to read a little bit earlier, but the ball didn't snap into the pocket. I need to throw one more with that ball. I showed up about a half hour ago and there was nobody here. And now this place is extremely packed. Okay. So it's going to be 1, 1, and 1. Right, here's the shot with the Black Widow. Ah, my lord. That was gross. Yeah, there's just a ton of oil out there right now, and these weaker pieces, they just need a little bit more friction, and just right now these lane conditions aren't doing it for me, or for the balls. But at the end of the day, you're just as good. The ball is just as good as the person throwing it. So you, the bowler, need to work with the conditions that you are given. So this is going to be the shot with the Webb. Same line. Oh, that was terrible. I dribbled the ball at my feet. I don't even care the damn ball struck. That was... sorry for the Chewbacca screaming. Okay, one more with the Webb. I just need to get it off my hand smoothly. Don't rush, take my time. I am standing at 25 again. First arrow again. Oh, that's better. That is so much better. So you can really see the difference between that ball and the Ocean Vibe, where that ball picks up the oil, cover starts to read the lane, and it gradually gets into the pocket. It doesn't just skid by the head pin. So that same shot with the Ocean Vibe, and my guess is this ball is going to not even make it into the head. Good. Barely touch the head pin. That's my guess. Or I can throw the ball across my body and miss my spot by 10, 15 boards almost. I hate when I do that. I want to play the same line as another piece and then I make a mistake and it screws up the whole thing. So, just erase that video from your memory if you can. I want to stand and release the ball at 25, not freaking 30. That's better. Okay, so it actually picked up a little bit. I'm going to try and get my hand around the ball a little bit, just because the web, I kind of got my hand around it just a touch more than I usually do. Added a little bit more overall rotation to the ball, less end over end, more. All right. I expect this to miss the pocket. That's my expectation. Yeah, exactly what I predicted. It's just gonna miss the pocket because the ball and the cover and the core combination on that ball is just too weak. So I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to watch this video. Everybody's got busy lives, myself included. So I appreciate the support on the channel. I appreciate the views, the comments, and I just hope that everybody has a wonderful day, and I will see you out on the lanes. Be safe.